Welcome to our class on climate variability. As I said in my previous class, teachers, my seniors who have designed the course curriculum for syllabus, otherwise syllabus for the GRF, SRF, NET. So they have mentioned climate variability. That's why I follow them. I have to honor them. I honor them very honestly. Now, see here, I would like to impress upon you that in the earlier class, I have given a clear information about what is the general climate variability or climate change. See, once again, I would like to impress upon you that it is we, the agriculture meteorologists, must not, and must not look into the aspects of so what is the general level climate change, what are the adaptations, what are the mitigation measures. We should know it, and then we should apply them to our agriculture. That is our basis. We should not and must not involve in panic creating or some sort of activities like this, because agriculture particularly, so it is one of the food security is one of the major items. So that's why we should limit ourselves to understanding at the global level and mitigation and adaptation, sometimes avoidance, as far as our crops, animals, plantations are concerned, more so the forestry, etc., related to agriculture meteorology. In this class, we are going to understand. So in the last class, basics, I have already covered what are the different processes involved in variability of the climate. Now in this class, tackling the climate change from my book, Principles and Practices of Agricultural Disaster Management. Now from where I have taken, I would like to impress upon you that I have taken from this book, CCCC, Kick the Habit, UN Guide to Climate Neutrality. It is one of the world's accepted standard book on climate change and variability. Similarly, climate change impacts, adaptation and vulnerability of IPCC. Again, climate change, mitigation of climate change of IPCC, and climate change, again the physical science basis of IPCC. Above all, one of the books, this is the Climate Sense. From this I have taken, and most importantly, I tell you, I have taken from another most important book, that is Guide to Agriculture Meteorological Guide to Agrometeorological Practices, World Meteorological Organization number 134. This is the most famous book. You just go to internet and then WMO 134. There in the chapter 2, I led from the front and I wrote one of the best chapters in that book. So from that also I have taken here. This is not at all from my own words or anything. It is a compilation, edition, and then after thorough peer review by my colleagues, I am telling in front of you these things. What is it? Tackling the climate change in agriculture. This class is for agriculture. In the previous class, it is for general. Now, so adaptation in agriculture, we have divided them into. I am telling is that it is with conscience of so many of colleagues. I have written this one. Adaptation in tropical regions, adaptation in temperate regions. Now, so for adaptation in agriculture, for the tropical regions, what are the most important things? Earlier planting dates or cultivar substitution and methods of microclimate modification. When I was introducing microclimate, I was telling you that we, the agrometeorologists, must understand microclimatology thoroughly. I try my level best to give in a very simple way all the micrometeorological techniques in my channel, Agrometeorology, Farmers and Rural Development. Already I made a beginning, 4 or 5 classes I have given there. We have gone up to boundary layer there. Then we are going to study what is the Reynolds analogy, what is the all these things we are going to study. So microclimate. As far as agricultural meteorologists are concerned, he is going to tackle the problems of climate variability in agriculture. Then, so let us go to development of physiological based animal models. Physiological based animal models is one of the most important thing. Of course, crop models, Also, improvement of carbon sequestration is required from agriculture through permanent land cover, utilizing conservation tillage, reducing fallow land in summer, incorporating rotations of forage, and improving nutrient management with fertilizers. This is another important thing. Standardization of crop models. That's what I told. Improved management practices and development of water conservation technologies, both from traditional and modern practices. So this is also one of the things. Planting of more shelter belts across Africa. One of the references I will give you, shelter belts and windbreaks. In that I am going to cover extensively on these things. Now, planting of more shelter belts, implementation of sustainable agriculture and forestry practices, development of innovative new technology, that is climate forecasting alongside traditional methods, that is intercropping, mulching, mixed cropping, whatnot, crop rotations, etc. Development of adaptation strategies such as response farming. So these are all the adaptation strategies for tropical agriculture. So as far as adaptation in temperate regions is concerned, earlier planting with the use of long season varieties to increase crop yields. In hotter regions of the temperate regions, the introduction of shorter season varieties, stabilization of production and conservation of soil moisture, use of shorter crop rotations, and routine crop thinning in areas, of course, that experience a higher precipitation, larger spacing in forestry plantations, and later thinning to reduce the impact of drought. See, this is one of the techniques that we find. See, farmers in dryland areas, what they do is they go for closer spacing first. If sufficient rain is there, they keep it as is. If drought occurs, alternate rows, they start removing it. This is what should be followed even for the forest as an adaptation in the temperate regions. Increased application of integrated pest management techniques, integrated pest management, integrated water management, integrated so many fertilizer, nutrient management, like that. So these are the things for adaptation in agriculture as far as in tropical and temperate regions are concerned. Now, coming to the mitigation, in your syllabus for JRF, SRF and NET, there is a mitigation component also, which I covered for general climate change. Now, as far as agriculture is concerned, the mitigation aspects in agriculture include mitigation measures are most essential for increasing production and productivity in agriculture. As far as the tropical regions are concerned, reduced tillage intensity and summer fallow areas, improved manure management and feed rotations, integrated nutrient and pest management. That's what I told half minute back. Even for the adaptation also. This is for the mitigation. Okay, integrated nutrient pest management, restoration of degraded lands, erosion control, organic amendment and nutrient amendments, rice crop management to reduce CH4 emissions. Example 3, system of rice intensification, SRI, system of rice intensification. So I would like to discuss this in the micrometeorology of 2 crops is there in our syllabus for JRF, SRF and NET. Though one of the crops is rice, the second one is the wheat. There I just discuss with you 3, system of rice intensification as far as mitigation in agriculture is concerned for tropical regions, for rice crop, and improved energy efficiency in agriculture and using bioenergy, okay, depending upon the relative prices of the fuel. This is what very important. That's what I would like to impress upon you. We must not involve in the policy making as far as we agriculturalists are. Policy makers are there, they will decide. So, however, we have to mitigate it or adapt it with our technology and knowledge and genius. Now, substitution of fossil fuels by energy production. This is what I am telling you. Nothing more than this I would like to impress upon. Now, mitigation in temperate regions is concerned, prevention of overgrazing of grasslands, fire management and species introduction. I was telling you in the last class that I was fortunate to attend fire management in one of the workshops in Edmonton, Canada. So there we discussed. I got this point from them from the discussion there. So allocation of summer fallow areas for pasture and rangeland agriculture, introduction of forage cropping into rangeland and pasture rotations, restoration of cultivated organic soils, improved livestock management through improved feeding practices, dietary additives, improved manure management, improved anaerobic digestion, breeding and other structural changes. So afforestation, reforestation, forest management and reduced deforestation and harvested wood product management, use of forest products for bioenergy, for fuel. Okay, these are all the things for mitigation in temperate regions, mitigations in tropical regions I have already covered. Of course, adaptations I have already covered. Now, see, I would like to impress upon you one important thing that this is the guide to agriculture meteorological practices. That's what we call it as a GAMP, Guide to Agriculture Meteorological Practices, WMO number 134. It is my fortune that I led the team from the front as far as chapter 2 is concerned. In that 8th chapter is climate change. From this book, okay, WMO 134, it is available in the internet, you can download it. So, as far as climate change is also concerned, I have not taken anything from any other book. Most standard books, that's what I got, including this book. Now, see, from this, I have given good adaptation. Please try to understand this one. This is very interesting. Potential agricultural adaptation. In addition to what I told, it's a summary, like, you should remember. At the global level, at the national level, these are the scales. Potential agricultural adaptations for climate variability. A question would come in your JRF, SRF. That's why I'm telling. Now, global level, national level, regional level, local level, and at farm level. Now, as far as the global level is concerned, this particular guide to agriculture meteorological practices says what it says. Shifting centers of production. Please subscribe to my channel, Agrometeorology Farmers in Rural Development. There, in the agriculture heritage with reference to agriculture meteorology, I have given some areas of productions. So, from the ancient times it is there, same. It was suggested shifting centers of production. Okay, where which crop can be grown. Okay, new areas, old. Okay, like that. So this is the first thing as far as global is concerned. As far as national and regional is concerned, okay, there are 5 things here: land allocation for agriculture, labor supply and demand, balance of food and non-food crops, policy to support farm level adaptations. This is what policy agrometeorology should not and must not bother about it. Policy governments will say we should adopt it with our genius, with our knowledge. That's why once again I would like to impress upon you that national and regional level, land allocation, labor supply and demand, balance of food and non-food crops, policy to support farm level adaptation. So as far as global level is concerned, shifting centers of production, these are the things at the local level. Here you see what is the local level. Almost as far as the concept of micro, meso, micro, topo, meso and macro meteorology, I have given what is the local there. That is the topoclimate level. Now at the topoclimate level, as far as agriculture meteorology is concerned, not general meteorology, not climatology. As far as agriculture meteorology is concerned, local means topoclimate I have defined there. Please subscribe to my channel. That's why I am telling you, basics I have already covered. That's why I am not interested to repeat again. Now here at the local level, farming systems or type of farming, crop rotation, mixed cropping, balance of cash and food crop, water management. See, crop rotations, mixed cropping, types of farming or farming systems. So these are all the techniques that we should adopt in addition to water management. Now at the farm level is concerned, variety selection is very important, animal breed is very important, timing of activity, that is sowing windows, for example, timing of activity, water conservation. So these are the things at the farm level. Now, so you may put a question, Dr. Murthy, what you have done as far as climate change is concerned? Yes, I did my level best. I spent all my life learning only agriculture meteorology, nothing else. What I did at the global level, I have given the term for the global level shifting of food centers. I have coined and defined the term weather health. The potential force through which all weather elements perform their several and cooperative functions for optimum for better crop health to produce potential yields. This is the definition I had given. Many of my students have worked on that. So as far as global level is concerned, I have coined and defined the term for the use by agrometeorologists. Now as far as the national and regional level is concerned, for the first time in India, okay, the growing degree day calculator, a functional growing degree day calculator was developed by me in at the Department of Science and Technology project. So that is useful for these land allocation and everything. So global level, I have coined and defined weather health, and at the national and the regional level, okay, I have given GDT calculator. As far as the local level is concerned, blended weather technologies, local level toposcale. So that means science is available, add our traditional knowledge. Foolproof, technically proved, not close, even much greater than closer to science, locally proved technologies for local. That's what I call it as blended weather technologies I had given. And at the farm level, my most important Murthy's daily weather and agriculture. Murthy's daily weather and agriculture I had given there. So for all these things, I am very happy to share with you as far as the climate variability adaptation mitigation is concerned. This is what I would like to discuss in this class. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. May God bless you.